But in 1990, a country thought, you know what space is missing? Frogs. And it was not Australia or France, it was Japan again! So they decided to send 6 Japanese tree frogs to the space station for 8 days. Here's the thing about frogs in space, they don't know what to do with themselves. These frogs will just forget to frog. On Earth, frogs just sit in their normal posture, legs tucked, head forward, being a frog. But in space, they developed what they called a parachuting posture, which looks like more of a combination of like motion sickness and an emotional crisis to me. The whole point of sending animals or insects to space is to study their behavior and how they would adapt to microgravity. That's why so many other cases of animals being sent to space are there. For example, in the 70s, NASA has sent 2 spiders, Annabella and Arita, cute, to just check how they would be able to, you know, spin their webs while being gaslit by microgravity. Surprise, surprise, the spiders were able to spin their webs, except that they weren't, like, maybe they were more symmetrical because they couldn't rely on gravity to orient themselves. So on top of these spiders not actually having any gravity to rely on, they also had another level of nightmare. They did not have food. Before launch, the spiders were fed like a housefly, and when they were sent to the mission, someone forgot to pack the lunch. So the whole point, of this experiment was after 3 days, the spiders would die, and then they would dissect their bodies and then maybe study their bodies. Very cruel, very cold and cruel NASA. Luckily for these Arabella and Anita, kawaii. Lucky for them, the astronauts were very lonely up there and they got emotionally attached to these spiders. We cannot let these 8-legged arachnoids die on our watch. And then they radioed the, I don't know, mission control, and the mission control radioed back and they were like, okay, you can give them some of the filet mignon that you have for dinner. Just give them a small, housefly sized piece of steak. And that's how they, help them live just a little longer. Like, they did not live for long, of course. They also provided them with some water to avoid dehydration, and these spiders died, at least in luxury.